So now, when I had a transplant and my life changed and I got a job, and I had the best 2 years of my life when I had a transplant. I had it from a cadaver donor. Somebody was involved in an accident and they'd put down their names to say that if anything happens, I want to give my organs. And I was fortunately one of the recipients who received one of the kidneys. You know? And that 2 years was the best 2 years of my life. I'm not going to lie to you. That 2 years was life-changing. But now, when I had complications and I lost the kidney, I fell into depression.
Sure.
I lost my job at Rainey's. I lost my faith. I legit gave up on everything when I lost my kidney.
Hello, my name is Lesego Mofokeng. Be welcomed, Magnified Mamas. Let's connect, cultivate, and create. Magnified family, welcome back. We are back with yet another sizzling episode. Bearing in mind, here on this channel, we connect, we cultivate, and we create. Today is a very, 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 very exciting time for me. We are going to be just ride the wave with us, right? I'm hanging out with someone I never thought I would meet in person, but I'm yet to confirm the power of social media. So today we've got we've got V. If you thought you were a warrior, if you thought bosso, no, you are yet to meet the fighter of the fighters. I've got V here today. And just come with us as we're about to unpack as well. Hi, V.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Don't act shy, because I'm gonna direct them to your TikTok, and you're not shy. How are you feeling?
I'm very nervous. I'm nervous a little because I've never formally been on a platform before. I always make videos to spread awareness, of course, but I've never been formally in a setup like this. And I'm honored.
Welcome. Okay, so we're gonna start with an icebreaker.
Okay.
Because that's usually what makes me relax the nerves. What song did you jam to on your way here?
10 Toes by Chris Brown.
10 Toes by Chris Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Is it
Healing Energy?
I don't know.
Healing Energy.
I know old Chris Brown songs, but
no,
not.
there's a new album.
Teach me. When was the last time you cried?
Yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's good. It's therapy.
Mm-hmm.
It's therapeutic.
Mm-hmm.
And then when was the last time you tried something new for the first time?
When was the last time? Oh, God.
Well, you are here now. You said you've never done this.
Now, I actually tried something new. I'm on a
Timestamp.
podcast. Hello.
But maybe you had something else in mind?
I don't remember. I can't think of anything right now.
Okay, cool. Last one. If you could know the answer to any question, what would it be?
If I could know, you know what happens as you grow as a Christian, you don't have to know anything. Growing up, I had so many questions, especially for God. I think the one question I had for the longest time was the fact that out of all 4 of my cousins, I was the cousin that was sick, and both my mom and dad died. So I was very angry, and I kept on asking God the same question. If you know I need my parents more than all my other cousins because I live with a chronic illness, why did you take them? But as time goes by, you realize, God chooses his strongest soldiers for everything. So I don't ask questions anymore. Whatever that happens, I know that God has a valid reason, which I don't even have to understand myself. So I don't have questions. Whatever that happens, it's hard. Some things are hard to deal with, but you just go along with everything.
Sure. So you've made mention about your 4 cousins. You've made mention about your late parents. Sorry about that. You saying, God, why did you take them away when I would have needed them so much from a young age? Unpack that for us. So what does that mean? And so paint the picture for us.
Okay. So for a human being, logical sense, if you have a sick child, if the mother is there, the life will be easy. You know, if I have a mom, whenever I'm in hospital, my mom will be there and be there for me. So for us, it needs to make logical sense, but for God, it doesn't have to make logical sense. When I was growing up, it didn't make sense for me. God, how can I be sick with no brother, no sister, and lose my mom and dad when I feel like I needed them the most? But little did I know that God trusted me with the journey, that I didn't have to have my parents to be there to go through the journey. I just needed him. So all these things growing up, I asked myself all these questions. So why? It doesn't make sense to me. It needed to make sense for me then. But as you grow older and spiritually, you understand that things don't have to make sense to us, human beings. If God has decided you're the strongest one, you can handle this journey, I'm choosing you to go through that, then you will handle it. Do you understand? So now I don't ask questions. There are a lot of things that happen. Like, God, honestly, this is going to be a setback for me. Honestly, do I have to deal with this now? But then as you grow older and you grow spiritually, you realize you don't have to understand everything as it goes. It will make sense as time goes on.
So when did you lose Mama and Papa, and when were you diagnosed, and what were you diagnosed with?
So I was diagnosed at the age of 2 with kidney disease, chronic kidney disease, and my mom and dad separated when I was around 8 years old.
Okay.
And my dad died, already separated, when I was 9 years old. And a year later, my mom died of meningitis.
A year
later.
So you lost them at the same time, technically.
Practically, yeah. And then I had to move in with my grandparents. This is when I moved in with my other 3 cousins. There were 4 of us now.
Okay.
At my grandparents.
Okay, so let's do medical terms 101.
Okay.
We're gonna, you know, just so that our viewers at home understand. Chronic kidney disease, what is that? What does that mean for you?
So chronic kidney disease has stages. There's mild forms of it where you can take treatment or you'll be advised to have water and do all of that. And at this point, I'm at an end stage kidney disease, which means there's no function at all.
At age 2 already?
No, stage 5. This is where the kidneys have no functionality.
This is right now.
Right now. I'm
when
on
you were
dialysis.
diagnosed, where were you?
So gradually, the kidneys went bad. So when I was 2 years old, I'd go for checkups, monthly checkups, and I'd get medication to help. And eventually, when I got to 13 years old, I was totally, my kidneys shut down.
So it's end stage by then?
End stage.
Okay.
Yeah. So then when the kidneys shut down, you need dialysis. Either you need dialysis or a transplant. So then...
Either or.
Yeah.
Right? And then what's dialysis? What does that mean? Why do you need that? Can you not still take medication maybe?
No. So dialysis does the functions of a kidney. So if there's kidney damage, it's irreversible. You know, like we've got the liver that regenerates itself and, you know, but with the kidney, once there's kidney damage, you can't do anything about it. You need another form of something to help you. So the dialysis machine does the function of a kidney, which means it removes all the toxins from your body, it removes all the fluid in your body, and it regulates blood pressure. Remember, the kidney is responsible to do all of that. If the kidney is not working, that's why I don't know if you've noticed, I've mentioned in my videos that I don't pass urine.
Yes.
This is my 13th year without passing urine. So the dialysis machine does that. So when I go for dialysis, I'll set the machine to say, remove 1.5 liters of fluid from my body. So I'll pre-weight.
That sounds so cool. I know it's not, but it sounds cool, right? If you're saying you set it to say, do this function for me. So the machine must do what your kidneys would have ordinarily done if they were fully functional.
Yes.
Sure.
So you get to dialysis, you do your pre-observations. You'll do your blood pressure to see how's your blood pressure. Remember, most of us on dialysis are hypertensive or hypotensive. We are on chronic medication.
Yeah.
And we do pre-observations to check the blood pressure. That's going to guide the sisters how to do the treatment properly. Because sometimes if it's too low, you can't remove a certain amount of fluid from your body. So then you do observations, your blood pressure, your weight. Your weight will tell them that you left with 50 kg. You're coming back with 52 kg, which means you've gained 2 liters of fluid in your body.
Oh, so the weight is also an indication of...
You can't go on dialysis before you weigh. That also helps the sisters guide. It guides the sisters to know how much you've gained.
So, I mean, you're saying all of this is happening and you're 13.
Yeah.
You're a teenager.
I was a teenager.
Like, can you just be a child and just,
the thing is,
what was happening in your mind then? I mean, I'm literally thinking from age 2, you probably don't have reference, right? You're a child.
Yep.
Mama and Papa, you're saying they're still around. But I'm trying to tap into 13-year-old V, experiencing all of this that probably even some adults wouldn't be able to cope.
Yep.
What was happening there?
So it sucked when I was younger. I feel like everything is better now when I'm older and I can understand better. Because I feel like you can tackle something when you understand it. So when I was young, I was in denial. I was very angry. And I could not believe it. Like, I just thought to myself, you know what, all these things can't be happening to me alone. I can't be losing my parents. I can't be sick. I can't be going through this. I'm living with pipes. I can't do this. I can't travel. It's just a lot, you know. And remember, when I was diagnosed, when the kidneys totally shut down, there's 2 forms of dialysis.
Okay.
So there's peritoneal dialysis, the water dialysis, and there's hemodialysis, the blood dialysis. I'm on the blood dialysis now.
Okay.
But when I first started, they put me on the water dialysis. So I'll just unpack that. Water dialysis is you do it 4 times a day, every 4 hours. So
At the hospital?
No, at home.
At home.
So
Okay.
they'll deliver all the stuff you need to do the dialysis at home.
Okay.
So it's called PD dialysis, peritoneal dialysis.
Okay.
So I'm trying to take you back from when I was 13 when I started this. This is them delivering all boxes at home of all the material stuff medical material stuff I'm going to need. In the morning at 6 o'clock, I wake up, I put in a liter of bag in my body. 10 o'clock when I get to school, I take out the liter of body.
At school?
Yeah. So I'll tell you about that at school.
Okay.
And it's 6 o'clock in the morning, 10, 2 in the afternoon, and then 6 in the afternoon when I come back from school, and then 10 again at night, the whole night, and then start again. It's a cycle of, it's a lot. PD dialysis is a lot. And the reason why I'm telling you about this is because in the end I cheated. And I remember my doctors asking me what happened, and I was so honest. I was like, you know, doctor, I feel like this is such a huge responsibility for me. Like, most of the time, I think the most thing that irritated me was my grandmom knocking on the window because I'd be outside playing. And when it's time due for dialysis for my bags, my grandmom would be, and I'll try and ignore her, and my friends would be out there like,
Because
hey,
it's playtime.
Your grandmom is calling you. And I had to go back. And the process of doing it, you have to wash your hands, sterilize the area where you're going to set up the whole thing, clean them up, go wash your hands again, open up, sterilize everything before you can connect. Myself. So you go for training. Before they discharge you, you'll be there, and then they'll train you and do all these things. And I remember there were times where I'll just bash inside my bedroom and just pour everything without washing or sterilizing and connect myself. And I had something terrible called peritonitis. I had an infection in my peritoneum.
Sure.
And I can tell you now, that's the worst pain I've ever had.
To date.
It's like sepsis in the stomach. So because of me cheating PD dialysis, I had peritonitis.
Because of obviously the bacteria, the germs that then cause an infection.
So we are told strictly to do the right thing. If you do the wrong thing, you will have peritonitis. We call it peri-peri in our lingo.
Yeah, because anything to make us feel like, we'll get through this.
It's terrible, and I never want to go back to PD.
Sure.
So I did 2 years of PD, and I had peritonitis. So because of that, my peritoneum was damaged. I had to then do hemodialysis, what I'm doing now.
Okay.
So I did hemodialysis for 2 years before I was called in for a transplant.
So what's hemodialysis now?
Hemodialysis is blood dialysis. Remember I explained peritoneal dialysis, which is the water dialysis, that I cheated and then got an infection?
Yes.
And because I damaged my peritoneum through that, I now had to move to hemodialysis.
Which is in hospital. Which you have to now go.
Every second day you have to be at the hospital religiously without fail. Yeah.
Okay, because I know you said you go 3 times a week, right? So isn't that like a bit, I'm trying to think of how it feels like your entire life is stopped, or you have to plan around, is it your dialysis day? How do you feel after it physically? Is it something where you can just leave the hospital and say, okay, I've got a lunch date with a friend, or what does a typical dialysis day look like?
Well, dialysis days, can I be honest, are shitty.
All.
Yeah.
To a certain extent.
You make it work. After some time, you have to pull yourself together and make it work. Okay? Like, obviously, being on dialysis means that you can't actually get a job. I have to be at the hospital 3 times a week. Where am I going to work?
Which corporate is going to be okay with all those hours
With all those hours. And you must understand, in between, there's admissions, there's complications, there's all sorts of things. So it means being on dialysis, it's quite hard for you to even be financially stable, because where are you going to work?
Who's going to hire you?
Who's going to hire you? So besides that, physically it makes you tired. After dialysis, I don't want anything.
Maravi, let's be honest, guys. After this, please hop onto her TikTok. I'm not saying you make it look easy, but like she'll be there, and I think they give you like that table. You've got your laptop, you're working, you are vibing with the nurses. Like, V must tell us the truth.
You know,
how do you do that though?
All of that is a decision I decided to make. It's not easy. I just thought to myself, you know what, if I'm going to be living my life like this for the rest of my life, I better make the most of it. I'm not going to get up there and be sad all the time and sulk and cry and do all this thing. If they can't take me, go acting because I can't be there to audition or do my voiceovers or be
because
at the...
she is an actor from the Market Theatre, by the way. Certified voiceover artist, by the way. Who talented, you know?
So if I can't get that, I might as well find a way to make a living for myself. That's when I started selling all these things and finding a way to make money for myself at the time that I can actually do stuff. So I spend about 15 hours a week at the hospital. So in that 15 hours, what am I doing with my life? I'm sitting there on my laptop, taking orders and creating shipments and sending out all over the place.
Okay.
So it's a decision. I always say you find a way. You know, I've been sick since the age of 2, and I'll be turning 32 years this year. And I can't be living my life for the past 30 years feeling sorry for myself. Something needs to give.
But where was the turning point, though, V? Like,
I think,
when or how or what happened for you? Like, because it's not it's not easy. I'm really trying to like be you right now, and you're still very young and you've gone through so much, but you have so much vigor and will to live still. So, but when was the turning point?
I think when I realized that there's nothing that's going to change. You know, I had a transplant.
Okay.
And I remember saying to the doctor, when you guys are explaining what a transplant is, why aren't you guys being honest with us? Because from the pediatric unit, you keep on saying to us, when you get a transplant, your life's going to change. You're going to be able to do all these things, blah, blah, blah. And when I had a transplant and I realized that's not it, you know? And with transplantation, you become immunosuppressed. They give you medication to suppress your immune system so it does not reject the kidney.
Okay.
So even though your life improves, the quality of your life improves because you don't have to come to the hospital 3 times a week. You can be home, you start urinating, your appetite, you sleep well, no insomnia, your skin flicks, everything just goes back to normal. I started my menstrual cycle, everything.
Check how your face is lighting up when you mentioned
transplant
that.
is everything. Everybody should experience transplantation.
How does transplantation work? What's the process? I know it's probably different whether it's in private or state, but how do they find a donor, blood types? Walk us through that world of things.
I'm going to hop on that. I just want to finish the part where I'm saying. So when I realized the transplantation, it's not easy as well. They painted the picture to say when you get a transplant, your life's going to change and everything's going to go back to normal, everything. Transplant maximizes the quality of your life, but also there's a huge responsibility. You're taking care of the kidney. You're on you're still on immunosuppressant medication to look after the kidney. You're supposed to go to the hospital. Anything you have, you're supposed to go to the hospital and report and say, hey, I've got a rash, I'm itchy, whatever. Anything. If you bump yourself, whatever that happens, you need to go into hospital and get checked. So it's also a responsibility. Your life is better. Yeah. You can get a job and move on. You can try and be a mother. After a year or 2, you can fall pregnant after transplant. But also it's a huge responsibility. Yeah. So now when I had a transplant and my life changed and I got a job and I had the best 2 years of my life when I had a transplant. I had it from a cadaver donor. Somebody was involved in an accident and they'd put down their names to say that if anything happens, I want to give my organs. And I was fortunately one of the recipients who received one of the kidneys. You know? And that 2 years was the best 2 years of my life. I'm not going to lie to you. That 2 years was life-changing. But now when I had complications and I lost the kidney, I fell into depression.
Sure.
I lost my job at Rainey's. I lost my faith. I legit gave up on everything when I lost my kidney. And I had to that's when I decided to say, listen, you've been on PD, you've been on HD, you've been transplanted before, you lost the kidney, now you are here. What are you deciding to do? You've lost your faith along the way. Are you going to sit there and feel sorry for yourself and sulk and cry and for how
also
long?
You're still alive. You're still here.
That's the thing. If I had a decision to say, we're taking Dima, I've had enough, I'm done. You know, you still, whatever. I did an article with True Love magazine in, I think, 2011. When when I had a transplant, and I was sharing with them. And when I lost the kidney and I lost everything, I felt like, what am I going to do with myself?
Sure.
What am I going to do?
What is there left really now?
Yeah. Because having a chronic illness, people just think it affects you with your illness because you're sick, you've got pipes in your body, you have to go to the hospital. It affects you in most aspects in your life. Financially, a lot of people lose their jobs on dialysis because you can't cope with coming to the hospital and maintaining your responsibilities as work. You know, and some people get sexually frustrated. There are people who feel like, I'm sick, I don't want to be involved, I want relationships, I don't want to engage, I don't want to do anything. So not only because they don't want to, but it affects you in a way that you don't want to associate yourself. That's why a lot of people socially, they don't share. You know, a lot of people be like, hey, Evie, how do you tell people how wrote? But know. But I'm like, me, I'm open. Like, I'm not going to hide something. One thing about me, I'm not going to hold myself responsible for things I didn't do.
That
like
you can't control.
Yeah, I can't control it. And therefore, I can't sit here and feel ashamed. I haven't passed urine for the past 13 years. And I didn't do anything. You know, it's not my fault. So I won't take accountability or feel like it's my responsibility to explain myself. I didn't do anything. I'm in the situation. Hey, you know? So a lot of people still struggle with accepting. A lot of people still struggle with being honest. I had a friend of mine, she's late actually, and she used to come to dialysis looking so beautiful with high heels and pencil skirts.
Nah.
I'm like, cool.
Like, don't look like the war you are going to.
You understand what I'm saying? And I'm like, babes, how do you feel about dialysis? We're going to hop on bed and fall asleep. Like, you don't understand. Now, from where I come from, people think I come to work because I don't tell people that I'm sick.
Was that her reason for dressing up?
Yeah. So that's how deep for some people this is. They'll go through that to say to people, "Baya kumsebenzi," and not tell people, "Baya hospital." You know, a lot of people deal with the whole thing in a different way. Hey, but I made a decision to say I will not do that. Nah.
So how was the family support? I mean, I'm thinking of your late friend Ubuanka, if she had to like dress up. You know, I'm trying to think what kind of support did she have for her to have to, you know, she's self-isolating essentially. Or it sounds like she doesn't have a safe space to just be in the reality of her situation.
No, but I feel like that's a personal decision. Even if you had family support, if you're not ready to come out with things like this, if you're not ready to say, hey, listen, you want to be involved with me, but I am on dialysis, I can't have kids until I have a transplant. That's, your family can only do so much for you. You know, they can support you in everything, but that's your personal decision to say, how are you going to live your life going forward? I can support you, but are you going to be out there and live your best life? It depends on you. With family in or not, it all depends on you, whether you just want to live your life and be honest with who you are and accept the situation and just move forward, you know? Because I don't think it's to do with family. Like with me, I do have cousins.
Okay.
I do have my grandparents who are very supportive, and nurses. I consider dialysis nurses as my parents.
Those are your besties. Like,
Nurses.
when you post them on TikTok, I'm like, these people are vibing in a hospital. It's so
nurses.
genuine.
I can't even call them nurses because I call them mommies. You know, I've been in situations where they've helped me financially. I've been in situations where I was admitted and nobody would be there for me, and the sisters would come be with me at visiting time.
When they're off from work.
Even when they're in the ward. At lunchtime, they'd come and see me. Even the ones, remember I've been in the hospital since the age of 2, so literally every department at CM JAR, I know. Everybody, I'm friends, you know? So people, nurses, porters, everybody I'm friends with there. So I think I've had more support from the hospital.
That is so, gave me goosebumps. Yeah.
Nurses are everything. People look at nurses like they're horrible people. I look at nurses like family.
So it gave me goosebumps because my mom was a nurse for 42 years. Yeah. She retired just before COVID. And I'm saying goosebumps because my mom would come home every other day saying, you know, you know, we couldn't get that. Like, tennis biscuit. Like, there was such a, like, it's like, dude, can you calm down? You know? But it really was just, it was a big calling on her. And even when they pass away, it would take a good 2 to 3 days for her to be like, "Mara, ntate mang mang, why? We tried so much." Like, you know? And I think that's the other gap for our healthcare workers. I don't think they get enough psychological help. Apparently it is offered, but also depending on generation. When mama rona are older, they don't believe in that. So that story is really like
That's true.
it rings home.
I mean, as chronic patients, we there. Like, I've known some of the sisters I've known all my life. You know, I've got sisters from the pediatric unit. They'll call me to say, V, we've got newly diagnosed patients. Can you come through after dialysis? There's like three parents. Can you come and talk to them? And that's what I do. Just, I think 2 weeks ago, I spoke to about 4 parents. They called me to say there's newly diagnosed patients and everything.
Children.
Children. So the parents, I speak to the parents.
And how are you finding their headspace? Like, how does that...
Well, it's a lot. And talking to the parents makes me understand what my mom went through.
I was going to ask.
Yeah, makes me understand what my mom went through, because it was quite a lot for my mom. My mom had it hard. You know, I was my mom's only daughter, and I was a sick child, and my mom was not taking it well. Even with dialysis, I remember when I was about 10 or 11, just before she passed away, we went in for my checkup, and I remember Dr. Sissel saying she needs to start dialysis. Her kidneys are, you know, the function is going down. And my mom refused. I only started dialysis after my mom died, because my mom was like, no. They took her into the dialysis unit, and machine oil, you know, when you don't understand anything to do with dialysis, you see all this blood circulating.
And it's your
the
child.
machine.
Vicky ngwana gago.
My mom rolled on the floor and was like, nah, my child is not doing that. You know, so I only started dialysis years later after she passed, when they now called my grandparents to say, hey, listen, we know what happened, but we're taking another shot. This child needs dialysis or she's going to die. And my grandparents are like, whatever you need to do to prolong this child's life, do it. And that's when I started dialysis.
So who was taking you to the hospitals then?
My grandparents. I had my grandmom.
Sure.
I had my granddad as well.
They walked the journey with you. Yeah. I see how now there's a video that you post as well, where when it's you accompany her to her checkups as well.
Yeah.
Such a cute little doll.
Yeah.
But it's really inspiring to see also the full circle moment, you know, where you are now also supporting them as well. And she is your mom. I mean, half of your life.
My grandmom is my mother.
So how did this then affect you growing, maybe you middle age, relationship wise? Where's that?
Well, insecurities. Remember, being sick comes with insecurities. When you're sick and when you're in a space where you don't love yourself, you've got scars. And remember with me, because I started dialysis when I was young, I had knocked knees. Kokasi, we call it kiss.
Oh, I'm like, yeah.
Knocked knees.
Which one is that?
I had severe knocked knees.
Like you had them.
I had normal legs.
Okay.
I was born with proper normal legs, but because of calcium deficiency with being on dialysis,
your bones,
my bones took shape. A lot of us there, especially if you go to the pediatric unit, a lot of young ones, you can see the deformities, all the legs and all of that.
So wait, sorry, V, I wanted to ask, were you born with chronic kidney disease, and what was the cause? Because there's different causes, right?
Yeah. So with me, because I was diagnosed at the age of 2, when I look back and I ask the doctors to say, if they're saying I've got, only now when I was discussing with another doctor to say, doctor, does it make sense for a 2-year-old to have high blood pressure? Because for the most time, I've always known that my kidney disease was because I was hypertensive.
Okay.
My kidney damage was caused by my high blood pressure.
Yeah.
So now, when I'm thinking, I don't know, I know all these things, they need to make sense to me. If you're saying got 2 years, I was diagnosed because of high blood pressure, what are you saying to me? You know, and the doctor was like, no, when we look at, because I went to get my file, my big file from when I was diagnosed. And when they were reading, they found out also my kidneys had cysts on them. So it's considered polycystic kidney disease.
Yeah.
And when I go back and I look at my child, my baby pictures, I realize I was chubby and cute. And I'm thinking to myself, I may have been born with it, but it took my parents a long time to take note. Maybe they thought I was just this chubby, cute little child and not knowing maybe there's fluid accumulating in my body or there's something wrong until I was 2 years old. I don't know what happened for them to take me to the hospital, but I know that I was diagnosed properly at the age of 2 with kidney disease.
Which I must say is a huge miracle in itself. Working in the medical field, some people, mostly with chronic kidney disease, it's underdiagnosed. Most patients get diagnosed so late in their journey that they are end stage at that point of.
And the reason for that is
diagnosis.
because kidney disease is a silent killer. High blood pressure, all those chronic illnesses, most of them, when you have them, it's not like you're going to be like, I've got pain here or I've got pain here. You know, if they say you've got pain here, you know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
People experience fatigue, tiredness, and all these mild things that don't take seriously until it's too late. You know,
Very
that's why.
general symptoms that you have that you can't pinpoint to say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So people will treat with over-the-counter medication until it's too late. That's why it's always wise, at least once a year. You give yourself a day to go get yourself checked.
Yeah.
You check everything, your kidney function, all this prostate cancers, all these things, just to make sure you're okay. Because the sooner they pick them up, this is how they picked up that my granddad was hypertensive. My granddad took me in for dialysis on Saturdays, Nankap.
Okay.
So during the week, I'd use my transport. But on Saturday, my granddad's like, on Saturdays, get my learn.
Our day.
And together we'd go for dialysis and he'd get his newspaper and a twisted sandwich. They'll connect me there and he'll be sitting there reading his newspaper for the 4 hours. And one day the nurse was like, hey, Ntatamolo, when blood pressure how getting? I was like, hey, I've been working in a company for 30-something years. I use trains, I'm strong. I'm like, no, daddy. Go check a BP. And you can't believe it. They checked his blood pressure. My doctor wrote a referral letter to say the following day,
Immediately.
Hold on. That's how he started his chronic medication. He was hypertensive and he didn't even know it.
All along.
Blood pressure high was like 220 something over 120 something. That's beyond.
The risk of
Yes,
that is
stroke.
a heart
He was
attack or
just gonna-
stroke or
Exactly.
an MI or something.
That's how they diagnosed my granddad. Just one nurse was like, hey, how are your things waiting? When last did you check? Did you? And he was just out there like, it's strong. Just
orchestrating gore Saturdays are your day. On this particular day, when a nurse it's ayana. Why
Exactly. And my granddad has been on chronic medication since then until now.
Controlled.
Yes.
Yes, because I mean, if he's got you as a grandchild, I mean, how you passionately share with people online about, the importance of managing your chronic illness, take your medication, abide by what the doctors guide you with. At such a young age, for me, it's just like, it's so empowering because like you're saying, at the end of the day, it's a chronic illness, it's not going away. So how do I then have the best of my life living with this chronic illness?
I think that's the one key point. When you acknowledge the fact that you've got a chronic illness, if you break down the word chronic basically means permanent, reoccurring, something that keeps on going and going. It's not, you can use, like with me having kidney disease, I'll be on dialysis, it's treatment. If I get a transplant, it's also part of treatment. It's not a cure. Getting a transplant is not a cure, but it's a milder form of treatment. So having a kidney transplant is also part of treating kidney disease. It does not mean I can kidney transplant before dealer or I'm done.
Gone.
So if I'm still under chronic, I'm a chronic patient who's been transplanted. Do you understand? So the minute you understand the word chronic, it's something that's ongoing. That's when you make a decision. If I'm going to have this for the next 50 years of my life, am I going to choose to sulk and not do the right thing? Can't I make the most of my life and take my medication and just do everything right so I can prolong my life and just get on with everything? You understand? The sooner you make a decision, that's why when you understand what you're dealing with, you make better decisions. Some of the decisions I made when I was in the pediatric units, they are messed up. Like I was sharing the other day, they give, obviously when the kidneys are not functioning, there are things like vitamin D. We struggle with calcium and we've got they supplement us with vitamin Ds and something called erythropoietin. Yeah. It's to help build our red blood cells. The kidney is also responsible to help.
Yeah.
But now if the kidney is not functioning, they will give us at the hospital. But now I shared the story and I said, when we were there in the pediatric units, when the sisters came, they put the injections there. Your recommends, everybody take your recommends. And we used to wait and sign for each other to say, Tamile. When the sister looks the other way, we take those injections, we inject them on our beds. And
so that you can show it's empty at least.
Yeah, because after you're done, you put it there and the sister comes, they collect whatever, and it's empty. And I did that for a good, how long? My God, for about 4 years.
Yes, V.
Years. I was not the only one.
King, mentally, is it just like fatigued? Give this, like it's like
no. I'm not doing it because I'm fatigued. I'm doing it because I don't understand why they're giving me this.
That's your point.
This comes
What's
in
the
understanding.
Why? Yes.
Because back then, if I say to you, Twara, and I'm not explaining it's going to help you with what, already you are in this mess of a chronic illness and you've had it. Now they're bringing injections. Now they're bringing medication. Now you have to come for dialysis. It's too much.
Yeah.
So if I can cheat one, it makes me feel better, like I'm in control, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And only when I got to the adult side and they were giving, and I was like, this is so. And the sister broke it down to me to explain, your kidneys don't produce a red blood cells for you. If your kidneys are not functioning, you don't have enough red blood cells. That's why we need to transfuse you. Transfusion is bad because when you have transfusion, you will have antibodies in your body. And when you have antibodies, you won't have transplant. And I'm sitting there like, excuse me, what? I used to be transfused so many times, go Pete.
Now you're connecting the dots.
No, I'm understanding the reason why I needed blood so much because I was not doing the right thing. I was not taking this thing. I'm thinking to myself, and now as I'm getting older, I'm understanding what a box A1, D60, and it's 2,000 rand something.
Yeah.
And how much have I wasted? Me and my friends, because we didn't understand. So sometimes for you to understand and take your medication serious, it's just a matter of saying, sister, what is this? Why am I taking this? So the sister breaks it down to you. So now you understand. How do I know if the sisters are forgetting? I'm like, sister, hey, you haven't given us a recommend. It's my recommend today.
Yeah.
Because I understand the importance of it. And I haven't been transfused in, I think, over 5 years now.
So those 4 years, daily, now you are
know,
doing the right thing now.
I'm doing the right thing and I don't need to be blood transfused because I'm taking my injections properly.
With knowledge.
Yeah. So with everything, I always stress, there's nothing wrong with you asking. You ask, sister, I don't know this thing. What is this for? Why are you giving me this? This thing, but tell me the reason why I'm supposed to be taking it. So you understand better. When you understand better, you do the right thing. When you understand why your kidneys are not working and what's the best way to treat them, what is it that you need to avoid so you can be healthy, it makes you feel in control.
I was going to say, because it's your body, you need to own it and know what's happening in your body.
It makes you feel in control because a lot of times when you're sick, you feel like this thing, it's kidney disease, the kidneys are and it's the one that's taking control of my life. I can't have kids because I'm on dialysis, my body's not normal, I have to take this, whatever. But when you are the one understanding of why am I taking this, why should I do that, why should I avoid that, you feel in control. You are now in control of your sickness to say that I know I'm supposed to be avoiding banana because it's going to take my potassium high. You stop that. And your electrolytes on your bloods are under control because you are taking control of it, So that's one thing. For you to be feeling in control and happy and content, it's you understanding what you have. You will never feel in control when you're not understanding what you're dealing with. So the first step is understanding what is kidney disease. If my kidneys were working, what could have been different? What can I do to help the dialysis machine so I can have a long span, healthy and everything,
So I want to touch a little bit on, you made mention that you can't have children. I would imagine dating or relationship-wise, what's your thinking around, now you're young adult V.
Yeah.
You said you're turning 32 soon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's different goals now for almost 32-year-old V.
Yeah.
What's happening in that space then?
Well, I never thought it would bother me until I grew older. I always thought to myself, I was the one child. And when my mom and dad died, I always said to myself, you know what, I'll never bring one child. And then what if something happens to me? What's going to happen to the child? I don't want the child to go through what I went through, sort of thing. Until I grew older, I was like, no. I love kids.
Actually.
I don't know if you realized, I love kids.
Don't you have a firstborn though? What's his name? Kihi or Kishi?
Peanutchi.
Guys, she's got the cutest dog ever. I'm not a pet person, but you're the one person who makes me understand relationship, pets and stuff.
Yeah.
And he has like a whole bed and but that's a story for another day. So cute.
So that's different now because I actually want to have a child. And well, I've always been open, even with my boyfriend. Like, I tell everybody everything. So if you come into my life, you're interested or whatever interest you have,
lay it on the table.
Everything is there. Like you're not going to find out later because I say everything out there. It's either you're going to love me for who I am or you walk away. So it's not a problem in my relationship because my partner knows it. And obviously with transplantation, that will increase the chances of me having a child. But it's quite hard, man. I get jealous sometimes. I do have friends I've been to school with who are now with their second kids. And no matter how content or positive or strong you may be, sometimes I would usually these things come back to say, hey, I work hard.
Yeah, very.
I work very hard for myself and I try to make all my dreams come true. And I realize, Because I remember my boyfriend said, babe, stop holding Peanut like it's a child. I'm like, hey, Peanut is a child.
Yay.
So when I was alone, I'm thinking, maybe without noticing, without realizing, I'm actually, Peanut is filling up that void.
Yeah.
You know,
that triggering moment of.
yeah, because I'm not going to sit here and lie and act strong. I do want to be a mother. I think it comes when you grow older, there's this void. You know, there's this thing. I want to do things with my daughter and plait the hair and
You envision
wear.
everything.
Exactly. And I love kids. I feel like also my love for kids comes from me trying to fill in this void. I think the reason my car is full of sweets in the boot.
I saw. When you get to your place and you open your door, your other kids are there and they're waiting for their goodies.
You know, so I just feel like me loving kids is also like it's like filling this void that I have of longing to have one of my own, you know. It does come with that. A lot of us in dialysis, especially us who got sick when we were younger, we don't have children. But fortunately for those who later got diagnosed to have 2-3 kids. But for us who started in the pediatric, all my friends from the pediatric unit,
are you limiting it only to doing it naturally? Or would you explore other options of being a mom, rather?
Well, I thought about it and I spoke to my cousin about it and she was like, no, V, you've done enough for me. I can do that for you, sort of thing. But when you read about it, and especially if you're going to get maybe a surrogate mother from a family.
Okay.
And then years later, there's things coming out to say when
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is when I get a transplant.
When? You heard her, she said when.
When I get a transplant.
And your face is going to light up again because you're like,
guys, transplant is hope. Transplant is beautiful.
It is.
You know, with me, I remember the doctor saying, when I had a transplant, I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm in so much pain. The scar is from there to there. And I'm thinking to myself, what's going on in my vagina? What's happening? And I've got a pad. I'm like, sister, what's going on? She's like, no, you started your menstrual cycle on the operating table. So my doctor was like, doctor, what's going on? And the doctor was like, V, as soon as we connected the kidney with the vessels and everything with the bladder, you started your menstrual cycle right there. So obviously being on dialysis, a lot of things don't function normally. I get it.
Yeah.
So obviously a kidney is like the engine of the body.
It is.
People don't realize how kidney
we always super focused on the heart and the...
You know, a kidney does so much more body.
Yeah.
You know, without the kidney, a lot of things go wrong. From skin, from your taste buds, from the texture of your hair, from the growth of your nails.
The bones.
Yeah. Everything. So as soon as they put the kidney in my body, everything just went. The glow, the skin. I don't know if you know, but I bleached my skin.
No, I didn't know.
I put it out there, and you know, there's a lot of controversy with people bleaching their skin. And this is how I'm dealing with my condition. I bleach my skin, and it makes me feel better about my insecurity. And remember, if you are on dialysis and your kidneys are not working, the toxins, remember the kidneys are building up in your body. And the dialysis machine can only do so much for you.
Yeah.
You know, so it's only doing like 40% of what the kidney would have done.
So what would your skin look like if you're not bleaching?
Dude, I don't understand how you've never seen the video. I am pitch black like this, Mike. Most of us are dark on dialysis because of the toxins. Oh. So it used to be my biggest...
I never thought that far. I just thought it's your complexion. Like
no, bro. Naturally, I'm not this dark.
Yes.
So I'm like normal colored, but like average color like you. But then because of dialysis, I got too dark.
Yeah, and then you were like, no.
And then I was like, if I can do something about it, I'm going to do it. I don't care if they're going to
So do you do it yourself? Do you go to a clinic? How does that
I do it myself.
Okay. So it's something you can do at home?
Yes, I do it myself. So then that's another insecurity that comes with being on dialysis. Hey. It makes you dark, you lose weight, and a lot of bone disease. A lot of us, some of them are on wheelchairs, some of them, like with me, I always have a knee brace on this.
Okay.
And it's different things for different people. Some people have issues with their backs, some with their fingers. It just depends on, I don't know
where
how.
It's presenting in your body. Yeah, where the deficiencies are affecting.
Me, unfortunately, it was my knees. And I've had correctional knee surgery, actually.
You've had surgery?
Mm-hmm. I've had surgery to fix my knees, to make them straight. So they've had to break them. Because when I say knock knees, I actually mean like this. Kiss, kiss.
Like V.
V. I'll try and see if I can find a video and repost or something. But it's there, you know? And because of that, when I was in dialysis and I asked the doctors if they could do something about it, they said to me, my bones are too brittle. If they try and fix them, they're going to break. So cool, I get a transplant. I go back to them to say, hey, now I've got a transplant. I've got a kidney. My body's functioning normally. Can you guys fix my legs? They're like, nope, we can't help you when you have a transplant because you're under immunosuppressants, which means your immune system is too weak. If you try to do surgery, you may not heal and the kidney may reject.
Yeah. Oh,
So
you
now
may
I'm
pass away
thinking,
even. Yeah.
so now when the kidney rejected, I went back to say, okay, cool. I'm not under immunosuppressants now. Are you guys going to try and help me? And they're like, okay, leave your numbers. I'm like, nope, I'm not going to leave my numbers and I'm not leaving until you guys tell me you're going to help
You're
me.
that girl.
Yeah. I sat there until the clinic was finished. When the last patient was seen, I was sitting there waiting for the doctor to say, I'm not going anywhere. The last time you said to me, you're not going to help me, you gave me excuses.
Stories.
I am not going anywhere. I sat there, the clinic, everybody was gone. And the doctor's like, you still here? I'm like, I'm still here.
You gonna help me?
And the doctor's like to me, okay, fine, look at me. And I was like, yeah. And I looked at the doctor's like, if you saw me on the hospital street, can you recognize me? And I was like, I think I'll recognize you. It's like, great. Give me your numbers. If I don't call you in the next 2 weeks, come and look for me.
Find me.
Find me. And that's how I got them to fix my legs. So we did one leg.
Awesome.
We did one leg in 2013, 6 months apart, because the one leg is supposed to support the other.
Yeah, okay.
While the other one is healing. So they broke the one, they put a plate in and everything, and they did the other one. So the legs came right. Confidence.
How old were you?
How old was I? I had a kidney when I was 17. I was around 19.
So when the legs were fixed with that, walk.
Oh, nah.
You're like,
When the
hello.
legs were fixed, bro.
Hello.
You know, because my legs were my biggest insecurity. My complexion, my legs were my biggest insecurity. You know, and when they fixed my legs, dude, I just had a transplant. So that 2 years of transplantation really helped my body. Because now my menstrual cycle had started. My bones became stronger. Remember when I got called in to say, hey, there's a kidney for you, come to the hospital now. Nikki Swaraleta. They would push me on a wheelchair and I'd hold on to things. When I dropped something
You were
on
not
the
in
floor,
good shape, hey?
I was not in good shape. When I dropped something on the floor, I could not pick it up because I had a chronic tailbone here because my alignment was not straight.
Tibang, mos.
One, and so now, when I was called in for a transplant, I got transplanted on the 5th of December in 2005.
Okay.
And I got discharged around the 23, the 24, just before
In
Christmas.
time for Christmas, yeah.
When I walked from the ward to go back to the car, I was walking straight.
Like
the
this is not the
strength,
same person
this-
you walked in.
Yeah, the power of a transplant.
How your body also just responded almost immediately to, okay,
Remember,
we're functioning now.
find the match. They find a matching kidney for you. They'll call you based on what they found. If they find a kidney, like, okay, cool, we've got B positive, let's find the closest one to the kidney. So already when you get there, they do this. That's why I was saying to them on the last video to say, you must keep your body fine. You can't be overloaded, stopping, doing all these wrong things. So when they call you, the body
Position
is ready.
yourself, position your body ready.
Understand? Be ready. So when they call you, just go in.
So is that your inspo to always be like, uduloli sharp, because...
Yeah, that's the thing. Because, I mean, if they call you and you feel it overloaded or your high blood pressure is too high, they will give it to somebody else. You will lose the kidney.
Ooh,
so when now on dialysis, you must not overload. You must make sure that you take your medication. So your high blood pressure and everything is controlled. So how about visa? They say kidney, you come through, they do all those observations they need to do, basic ones quickly, and then they give you the kidney.
So a kidney is not necessarily from a cadaver only. It can be from a living person, right?
Yeah, it can be.
Because we have 2 kidneys.
People have 2 kidneys, so you can live with 1 kidney.
Okay.
And some people are actually born with 1 kidneys.
And they're fully functional as well. They also have to keep a close eye to make sure that they don't. Okay, so I think we're gonna have you back when you are transplanted because it's coming.
Yeah.
We faith these things, right?
Yeah.
We faith them.
Yeah.
Okay, and
So obviously my boyfriend is giving me his kidney.
guys, check your lovers. Did your husband give you a kidney? I'm gonna ask my husband today. Would you give me your kidney? I was just like, wow. You know, and I think besides being a boyfriend, I think it's supernatural, hey? I don't know. I maybe I'm over spiritualizing it. I don't think there's many people who can put their hands up to do that for someone else.
I think so too. That's why it came as a shock to me because I always say, remember, if I'm saying I'm living with a chronic illness, I've been sick all my life. I've had my family. I've had my cousins. I've had my aunts, who were exposed to all the complications I've been through,
Your quality of life.
my quality of life, and me being in and out of hospital, all the operations I've had to go through, all these pipes on my body, all the legs. If I can have people witness all of that, and it's still not enough for them to say, hey, I want to make a difference in my my
family member's
life, and for somebody to just come. My boyfriend's only, we're like not even a year together.
When I was blush, guys.
And I always told my boyfriend, like, I don't expect that from him.
Yeah.
Kidney, I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, giving somebody a kidney is a big deal. You can't live with just one kidney.
Yeah.
But undergoing any surgery is risk. The fact that you're going to open you up, that's risky.
You're going under the knife.
You're going under the knife. So fortunately, my boyfriend is clued up. He's in the medical field, Lena, and he knows about these things. And I remember at one point I went to his place and I'm like tidying up, like a whole stack, like what is kidney failure, what's this, and then he's finding out more. So I'm like, okay, cool. He's taking.
How'd you guys meet? If it's not personal,
he slid in the DMs.
Really? Guys, DMs work. Okay, my husband also slid in the DMs. Guys, social media. That is so cute. So that's how you guys met. It's not someone you knew.
No. It's TikTok.
TikTok. That's how I met V. TikTok. Tick on that talk. Okay.
So yeah, in the end, we're like, okay, cool. We started talking, like he's all over the place in the comment section and the inbox. Can I get to know you? All this, and eventually, I gave me a chance. And
before we close, please share about that video about how you found out that he went to. Just talk them through that video, because I cried that day. Then I wanted to peek at it again and watch the following day. And I'm like, no, I don't want to cry again. I'll watch it another day. I watched it this week to prepare for today. Please talk them through that.
Well, he had spoken to me about it before, and I was like, babe, I feel like it's too soon. I don't expect you to do that for me. And no, honestly speaking, it's a huge thing.
Massive. It's massive.
And obviously we're not even a year or two into the relationship and you're already making decisions like that. I'm not saying I don't appreciate it, but I'm just saying it's too drastic. It was too drastic for me. And when I was talking to him, and I was like, you know what, babe, it only makes sense for me to say to you, I love you and I want to be with you and prolong your life. I'm not doing it only for you. I'm doing it for me. If I'm saying I want to be with you for the longest time, then I want to contribute into making sure that you're here for the longest time.
For the long time.
And also you must remember, I lose a lot of friends on dialysis. And I think he got shaken up a little.
Sure.
And we do lose. I can't even count the amount of friends I've lost on dialysis.
Why? Oh, yeah, because there's only one that I saw recently who you lost and it knocked you, hey?
Yeah.
So it's not easy.
It's not easy because at the same time, we are exposed to losing friends. I think...
Friends who are family also, because they are in the same journey with you.
Exactly. Some of them, I come from the pediatric unit. We were sick from,
And then
we are now older and we're still
now
going
they
through
pass
this.
away, they leave you
Yeah,
behind.
I remember just like 2 years ago, me and my friends, 4 of us, we went to Gold City and we had a trip. And there's 2 of us left, 2 of them is gone. From the video I just posted like a year and a half ago on TikTok. 2 is gone, it's just 2 of us left. So at the same time, you need to pull yourself together and be content and be positive. But amongst all the things that are happening, we are losing friends. But you still need to pull yourself together and understand, Hori, just because they died does not necessarily mean that you're not tlhakafala. You need to have a strong mindset to tell yourself, okay, yes, I do understand we've got the same thing. But we've got different journeys, like we've got different stories and different races to run. You maybe people say hi, we petile and who fedile ka yena, and I always try, every time I get messed up and I think to myself, why am I working so hard? Why am I doing all these things for what? Because now my same friend died last week and I'm out here trying to do this and that. What if I'm not going to be here in the next year? I'm wasting my time, sort of thing. And I'll pull myself together again to say, hey, you don't know whether it's the next 16 years or 6 years. So in that 6 years, what are you going to be doing? So pull yourself together and go back forward, because you do have that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and lie. You do have that mentality. What if I'm wasting my time?
What's the point?
What's the point?
Hey, yeah.
But at the end of the day, you never know. We've had people who were transplanted for like 30 years plus. My kidney only lasted 2 years. And I remember when I was saying, my doctor, when she was going on maternity leave, she said, V, when I come back, because after my kidney rejected, I said, you know what? I don't want anything to do with transplantation. I'm happy dying on dialysis. don't even put me on the list. I don't want another kidney. Because what I went through when I lost the kidney was too much.
Yeah.
And I think the worst thing that I lost, not the kidney, is the fact that I lost my faith along the way. You know, I was like, I prayed for this and you made it happen. The next thing you're taking it away from me.
You snatched it as I was enjoying
like my life was
it.
starting to, and then the next thing the kidney.
What's the meaning of this?
You know, and I was like, I don't want to. I'll live my life on dialysis. I'll make the most of it, and life goes on. So then they took my file and they put it right. How much I certified because I was like, you know what, nothing.
Based on what you've said to
Based
them
on
now.
what I said, I don't want a kidney. And I remember my doctors keep saying to me, V, you've got a bright future, V, you do all these things, you inspire a lot of people, don't do this, try again. And I just laugh in their faces and whatever. But this one doctor's like, V, I'm going for maternity leave, and Pinky promised me that when I come back, you're going to be back on the transplant list.
We're doing this again.
I need you to be on the transplant list so you can give it another chance, V. You know, you can get another kidney and live a normal life again. Give it a try.
Let's rebirth the whole.
You know? So this is how long now? When my kidney rejected, this was in 2011. So I've been back on dialysis for 13 years. So then for 13 years, I was not in the transplant list because I was like, you know, I don't want anything to do with it. I'm not going to be on the transplant list and give myself hope. And
the likes to be diminished again.
I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be content on dialysis, make the most of it, do whatever, find a way to make a living for myself on dialysis and provide for myself so I don't have to look for a job and keep myself healthy and spread awareness. This is going to be my life from now onwards. Fine, give somebody else a kidney. I'm not, you know. And now the reason why, besides my boyfriend talking me into it, my legs, there's something. Have you seen the video where I was talking about that my leg is getting worse now?
Yeah. I just didn't have context of, yeah.
So because I've had knee surgery before, and when I was using taxis, I got knocked over by a taxi. Ooh. So then got MTN when I was passing, a taxi went straight on my knee. And because I've got a plate here, I was not aware that it's broken. So for about a month or two, I was walking on a broken leg, but I was not aware. It was just so, but I was not wobbling or limping because
but there was like your plate, body was communicating something,
you know.
Clearly.
So eventually, when I went and I said there's something wrong with my knee, and they did an X-ray, it was broken. Same day, they're like, we're going surgery tomorrow morning, and they had to break a bone, one of my bones on my hip,
Sheesh.
mash it in, and put it in between the crack for bone marrow to bring together the bone.
Yes.
So since then, the leg has been, that's why my doctors are like, V, because you're on dialysis, you are going to have issues with the bone. Always have a knee brace on. So if you fall, anything happens, it's protected. Yeah. So that's why I wear my knee brace. So most of the time, it's not so. I try and dance sometime when I'm super excited.
Which is most times, by the way, because you're so energetic. You're energetic. Your energy is contagious, even through the screens or the phone, you know, through the... You can't help it. That's just who you are as well. Yes. So, yeah, I mean, outside of chronic kidney disease, I think you are really reigniting hope for a lot of people. But I think I like how you're so provoking even to like younger people and empower them to say, get information, you know, own your journey and you feed your mind or tell your mind, okay, we're here now what, you know? So I think just before we close, I don't know if you have any parting shots. Because now I'm there chilling on her TikTok, you know. But I mean, I think even across the board, what would you like to impart to people generally? You know, who is V and what should we take off from V's journey?
I think the one thing is making the most of whatever that you have, whatever that you're going through. So in short, if I'm V and I've got a chronic illness, what then? Okay, it's either you decide to sit there and feel sorry for yourself for the rest of your life and cry and be this person. And you must remember, nobody likes sad people. Like, I can only feel sorry for you for so long, but every day when I come to see you as my friend, I'm not going to be sitting there and crying with you all the time.
Eish.
People get bored.
Eish.
You know, people get annoyed. Like, even with me, like, I go through a lot. I understand people who go through things, but also I don't like negative energy. I don't like people who feel sorry for themselves. I don't like people who dwell on bad stuff. I feel like also as a person with losing my parents and going through whatever I'm going through with teenagehood and all the things that I had to go through with my insecurities and my illness and all the pipes and all the correctional knee surgeries that I've had to go through, I've managed to pick myself up and bring myself back to say, you know what, everything has happened. What now? Are you going to try find a way to make a living for yourself? You've got dreams of driving a car. What are you going to do about that? Are you going to try find a job and buy yourself skorokoronyana? Are you going to learn how to drive with those metal screwed legs on chrome legs of yours? Are you going to try to do something? You understand? So if I can say, even though I've got metal plates on my knees and they're not straight, I can still go and learn how to drive a car. What's stopping you? You know, I think more than the illness, it's your mindset.
Yeah.
To say that I've got this, what now? You know, you can be healthy and everything is going fine. If your mindset is not at the right, you know, you're not going to go anywhere. So even with illness, you just must get to a right set, get to the right set. Sorry about that. You know, you just find a way where you make a decision to say, you know what, this is what I have. What am I doing from here? And that's it. You know, if they give you medication, are you going to sit there and pile it up in a bucket somewhere in the house, or are you going to take the medication so you're well? Are you going to eat the right stuff? What the dietitians advise you? What are you going to do? What are you doing? You know, and then from there you make a decision. I'm going to do the right thing. That's it.
Thank you so much, V, for this love offering. Good dynamite. This girl. Guys, watch the space. Thank you so much for your love offering. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for your vulnerability. I absolutely know that there are going to be many lives changed. You know, one of the reasons why I started this podcast, we call it the in-between moments. I believe that on social media, we post the prim and proper. You know, we don't talk about, you know, the in-between moments of the lows, you know, the challenges. And most times that's the stuff that people who are going through a similar journey need to hear to affirm them that, okay, I'm okay. I'm not alienated.
I'm not the only one.
Exactly.
You know?
So thank you so much for speaking to that. I think we're going to have you back soon. I believe things are about to change drastically. But Kyaleboga, thank you so much for your love offering.
Thank you so much for having me.
Stay being a warrior, okay? And yeah, we'll see you on the flip side. Thank you so much, Magnified family.
Thank you.
We are signing out.